I'm using what I just learned as new slang. Fa.
Get your facts right, nerd, is what Google said. I mean, I can see your screen. That's what it said. Get your facts right, nerd, is what Google said.
Valid.
My partner gave me a movies are dope. The little charms say movies are dope.
Oh.
And it's in my favorite green. So whoever
I am so incredibly happy for you. By the by.
Thank you. Project Hallelujah. We're reviewing a great film that we've been talking about. Released on March 20th, 2026 with a budget of $200 to $248 million and a box office of $683,574,224. Directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, kings of such fare as the Lego Movie, 2122 Jump Street, Solo. Oh, not that one. It would be really dumb to have them direct a space movie. I think Lucasfilm can agree. And the Spider-Verse films. They were the two very involved producers and in some cases writers on those projects, with each film's 3 directors. Written also by Drew Goddard, starring Ryan Gosling and a whole host of other cool people. Brad, well, what do you think?
I mean, we've got to review this. We reviewed this right after it came out. I shared a lot of very in-depth thoughts and about this movie. I really like this movie. It's probably one of my favorites. I was ecstatic when I saw it. It was on Amazon Prime. It just came out. I think it's before even the physical release too. I think the physical release is next month.
Okay.
I think it's like August 11th. So I was super excited. I had to text you guys right away, and was before I even heard anything back. I already had the play button going. So I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a backseat for this one, and I'll kind of interject a little bit. But I mean, since I already gave a long form, in-depth history of the book and everything like that too. So
please don't hold back. I love every time I'm editing and I hear one of your two lovely voices. Yeah, it says the standard Blu-ray DVD 4K are coming to August 11th, and the 3-disc Steelbook, which Brad will have 21 of, October 13th, 2026. Milan, you've heard us whispering about this for so many months. What was it like?
Yeah, I definitely heard y'all talking about it for a lot. So I think in some ways I probably let y'all work it up a little bit too much for me, because I'm a huge sci-fi buff. Like, that's my genre of film. So I've probably seen most of them. So, for me, was it a good film? Yeah, it was a good film. It was enjoyable. I'd recommend it. But it wasn't like a great film. It wasn't like, to me, anything that was like defining for the genre. In a lot of ways, it stuck to the book, which is great. It stuck true to the text and everything like that. But even with the book, it's not anything that's super different from what's out there. So for me, having watched probably way too many sci-fi movies, it was a lot of the same in a really feel good way. So it was a good movie, but it wouldn't stand out to me necessarily amongst a sea of other sci-fi films of the same like style.
Sure. I'm assuming that's including a lot of the classics and not just... I think what stood out these days for people was it being so colorful, but I can think of a ton in the past that had a bunch of color for space and stuff. So,
and I'm thinking more so about the story, like the type of story that it is. It's a very overplayed type of story. So there wasn't anything within it that was remarkably different. And I think that's what I was looking for. Like, I'm fine with a story being similar to some of the other ones, because there's really only so much you can do. But I was hoping for there to be something that was just so remarkably different, so remarkably stand out. Other than obviously Rocky being the best character ever. But, I didn't get, I just didn't get that. Like, it wouldn't be something for me where I'd be like, top sci-fi films out there. Oh yeah, this one. It would just be like, oh yeah, this is a great one if you want a solid sci-fi film to watch. Like, yeah, go watch this type of a thing.
Speaking of Rocky, my kid Maddie was with me for the first hour 23 minutes before they had to go, and as we're watching, the one thing they said was, one thing I know is that there's a rock guy. I was like, oh really? Oh huh. And they said that's the thing you always do that I hate, because I just don't want to respond yay or nay as a spoiler, even if they know stuff. But cool. I saw this in 40X So the very slightest, like literally for 7 seconds spoiler, 4DX has the moving chairs, the water mist effects, all that air stuff. So the very first effect in the whole entire movie was when Ryan Gosling was waking up and he spit on us, literally just right in the face. But yeah,
real Ryan Gosling spit too, which is weird.
there were 70 of them in the theater, one for each seat. Weird though, because there were only 10 of us in the theater. But I'm repeatedly amazed at the runtime, because even though it is long, I just don't feel it. I don't feel the drag. But it really it did hit. I didn't end up going back in theaters again, probably because of that time commitment. I would have loved to see it in IMAX, but I am very glad that at least in the modern times they did bring all that color in. And while it is a standard story, so to speak, except for the reason Rocky's there, I think I'll get into that during spoilers, because I think that was a clever reason. It just felt cool to have a beautiful film, and they worked so hard to bring color in that they literally used old-timey light bulbs that they used to use in like the Exorcist times and stuff before going over to LEDs, and they had to run power from another studio like building just to power all the lights, because the one set didn't have enough power or they would have caused a blackout. But do we have what's up?
I was just looking for the latest in there, but I thought I saw something about the IMAX version of this being something like, I think it was like 11 miles long of IMAX film or something like that. They had to bring it in on pallets, but
Oh, that
trying to
makes
find
sense.
it, but I couldn't find it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think there was a picture of it and it was almost like collapsing. And now there's going to be a bigger spool for the Odyssey coming out in a week or two. Do we have any Bradley Cooper's trivia? Our Bradley Cooper is much sexier than the real thing. Feel free to repeat so that we hear your voice more than mine. Trivia from the last one.
Yeah, I don't remember what I did for trivia for the last one, so I'm just kind of looking at this here. So Ryan Gosling was the first and only choice by Lord and Miller for the main character, Dr. Grace. As soon as they got the rights to, was it MGM? Yep, MGM. They had basically signed, he wanted to play it, and they basically signed him right away, pretty much immediately. During some of his screen testing, his daughter came by and said that he looked smarter with glasses on, which is why Dr. Grace wears glasses in the film. So we can all thank Ryan Gosling's daughter for that input.
I am enjoying the recent influx of stuff on threads where they're like, while Ryan Gosling didn't invent galacting with glasses, he definitely added to the pantheon or the great history of it.
And then while in quarantine, the Artemis 2 astronauts got to watch this movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of cool. Real astronauts watching real astronaut, not totally real astronaut.
Like quarantine on Earth or quarantine in space?
No, quarantine on Earth. So that way they're away from everybody else. They less of a chance of them getting sick when they're in space.
Oh, before they go out. That makes sense. Anything else?
No, I'm sure I'll get into a lot of random nonsense.
Nice. Then what? We'll just start with Brad. It's your favorite. What's your 420 review?
Sure. What's 2 plus 2? Son starts quiet quitting. Congrats on being daddies. Teacher versus Mission Impossible. Amaze. Fist my bump.
Milan.
He's not quite lost, just out in space. New friend, expected turn. Who needs the saving? 2 worlds, different fates.
Mine is Journey of Space Sparkling, brimming with positive masculinity. Grace, go home. Okay. You gave me everything. Fist my bump. Statement. And because it's not a word, down emoji. Thumb down for audio listeners. Oh, all right. And anyone who wants to include their 420 reviews in future podcast episodes, go over to moviesdope.com or patreon.com/moviesardope and add your 420 review to the Discord or other spots. Next will be the dope meter rating. And we'll go in an inverse order to remind everyone. It's an S tier to F tier with a wild card going from ayahuasca, mushroom, edible, joint, skunky, and then poison. And that wild card is Molly when you're having a whole bucket of fun. But you can't say it's good. Mine was a mushroom. How about you, Milan?
I'll give it an edible.
Brad?
I'll stay with the same. I think what I had before is mushroomy ayahuasca.
Okay. But right before we get into spoilers, is this Do I remember correctly? Is this your favorite movie?
I wanted to watch it a second time because at the time that we recorded this, I had only watched it once. Super hype coming off of that. I would say it's probably in top 3 to top 5. I would have to really at least top 5 behind. I know the other two. If it would be in the top 3, the other two would be Inception and Lawrence of Arabia, which are 2 wildly different movies, both very long.
Interstellar would be up there, I'm guessing.
Yep, Interstellar.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's probably in top 5. I'm gonna go top 5.
Interstellar, the Lawrence of Arabia of Inception movies, or Christopher Nolan movies.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
Well, we'll take we'll launch off space launch. We'll space launch into spoilers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did anybody have a favorite part from the film? Because I think mine was, I'm trying to tell you why I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and then them chasing him down, because of course they would.
For me, probably the first bit with Rocky, the first probably five minutes or so when the spaceship is like tagging along with the pass with the blip B and then blip C, and then probably up until the point where like once Rocky starts getting a voice, I think I'd probably stop there as like my favorite section.
Right after the Meryl Streep cameo.
Yep. A lot of cameos, including the audiobook author or the audiobook reader for this movie.
Nice.
I probably have to agree. If any part was my favorite, it's probably the early sections where he was getting acquainted with Rocky.
I was surprised when we ended up having the second ending, so to speak, when Grace gets to go home because Rocky chooses to show up 6.5 years later and then finds out that the astrophage are going to rip Rocky's whole ship apart. And then he had to go make the ultimate choice. It's not an ending I would have ever, or a twist I would have anticipated happening, and it had the risk of overstaying the film's welcome if they did it poorly. But I really liked that twist and what it meant for him to actually get to volunteer for this mission versus my other favorite part where I was talking about him not getting a choice to volunteer, or
Yeah, one thing that I think is slightly different about this movie versus a lot of other sci-fi movies is that I think it's very easy to get into and it's very sciencey, but like not at the same time. It's very I don't want to say easy to understand, but like trying to think of how I can put this.
It's easy to say, but it's the same hat trick as The Martian, which was
where
the same
like
author.
Yeah. Where it's kind of like just it's there. If you want to dive deep into it, you definitely can. But if you're just somebody that just doesn't understand stuff like that, or you're just ready to enjoy a good space movie kind of thing, like cool, I can understand somewhat what they're getting behind enough to where they're not losing me, or I'm not like feeling like I'm drowning in science information that I don't want or need.
Yeah.
But cool, it's there, and I can keep moving on, and I kind of have a good idea. Oh, the sun's starting to die out because all this stuff is surrounding it. I can get that. Oh, for whatever reason, it's traveling between space or between the sun and Venus. Not sure why. They don't know why. Okay, cool. The one star that they don't know why it's doing that. Yeah. So I mean, for me, it makes it very easy to get into for somebody that doesn't like science stuff. So if you were to like give somebody like a sci-fi movie to somebody that's not big into sci-fi movies, I think this would be a good recommendation for something like that.
Yeah, because I think it'd be fair to say most sci-fi movies are either action or horror of recent years, right? Like Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien, Predator, at least the majority that are in theaters.
And I think that's probably where the mass belief that some of the tropes and things within this film are so unique might come from. Because you're right. A lot of this stuff in theater are along those lines. But that's not a lot of like the stuff that I watch. Like, sure. Especially if you start looking at Korean sci-fi, like this stuff is hit on a regular. And, you were talking about how this was like one of the first recent sci-fi films that you saw in this context. That was so colorful. And I was like picturing like 3 or 4 different recent ones that I've seen, all Korean, that had really unique and vibrant stories, and then pulled out all those colors. They did a lot of the things that I saw in this film were things that I had seen in some of those films. Like the scene with the Aurora Borealis where they're out there and he's just like taking in that moment. Like I had seen a very similar scene of that in a Korean sci-fi film. So it's just kind of like, okay, a lot of repeat and recycle for me because those things were not mainstream theater films.
Gotcha.
United States mainstream.
Yeah, United States mainstream. You're right, because it could be in films there, but United States mainstream.
Yeah, because now that you're talking about this, I'm excited to check out some of these Korean sci-fi movies.
They're amazing. Like they are so good.
Well, after this, we'll find some recommendations and we'll go through it.
Tell me if this is similar with the Korean sci-fi films, because I was thinking, Brad, you were talking about the science and the how accessible it is
accessibility
for people. Yeah, and it made me think of how in these other mainstream U.S. sci-fi films, they normally only have like probably 2, maybe 3 big exposition moments in terms of explaining the science to the audience in a way that matters. And sometimes they'll even mess up 1 or 2 of those moments in the film and not do it very well. But this film has to almost relentlessly do that every like 5 minutes of adding another. And it's all the same, like it's all building on each other. It's not like, oh, let me explain why space vampires exist and why this black hole can do a corkscrew and what's a parsec. 12 parsecs for Solo. But it has a lot. It just does a really good job of spacing it all out and making the people feel so human as well. Like even the flashbacks, those could have been completely botched to hell. I still hear people say how Man of Steel's flashbacks were out of order just with that very simple story.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the story of not being brave, becoming brave, feeling out of place, with especially right away at the beginning of like him writing his thesis, getting basically told that that's not possible for him to go back and teach a middle school class and then have somebody come by and ask you about it. You're like, nope, I don't want to talk about that. I got nothing to say. Don't even.
Oh, you did your homework at what I said at that one conference about my colleague. Yikes. I thought I could just lie to you even though you came in on a helicopter.
I'm riding this bike and it's not for my exercise.
That kind of touches on one other thing that I heard a lot of people just wishing they had Grace say, so Rocky, are you water-based at all? It's like, of course, all living material is water-based or something like that. Because me and a lot of other people were like, he is so obsessed with this and he meets a fucking rock. It could be his dream come true. But they just didn't have that tiny 2-second exchange.
The ending scene where they're getting the predator from, I forgot, Terra something, or not, Alpha Centauri, Tori something. I forgot what the star was. It was like 11 point something light years away. Somebody did the math on how long it would take us now to get there. Something like over 300,000 years.
They don't have astrophage.
Yeah, they didn't have astrophage. The ending sequence of, I guess it would be like the first ending sequence of them getting the predator, almost failing at that, going back and then setting it back on the beetles. Each one of them named after one of the Beatles, with kind of like his whole diary of everything. I thought was kind of cool in a sense of like tying it to real world stuff now, even though that by the time it gets back to Earth due to relativity, it's been far enough advanced that they probably don't even remember who the Beatles are.
I'll never understand relativity. I've tried.
I mean,
it has to be within 30 years. Like that for him to get there and send the information, because that seems like their ticking clock for everything going to hell. So if
it's one thing that they didn't show in the book, or they didn't show in the movie that they told about in the book, was like how much backlash. I forgot what her name is. The doctor, the leader of everything.
Anatomy of a Fall queen.
Sandra Hüller, her character, like she gets to put through like basically trials and everything like that. She's still alive, but like basically the world started turning on her when they sent out the ship and everything like that, and they started trying to nuke the polar ice caps to try and cool the Earth down a little, or was it warm up the Earth? So they did a bunch of other random things too that they didn't show in the movie. And
since I forgot to ask, and it sounds like you did, Milan, you've read the book as well?
Yes.
Cool. I'm the only one out.
The book is really good. The book is a solid book. The audiobook I haven't gone through, but I've been told that's like one of the better audiobooks out there. So I mean, if you've got the time, knowledge, or money, you can find the audiobook and go through that too. So I got to point out to Maddie that one of the astronauts, played by Milana Vaintrub, who you may know most from the AT&T commercials, and she almost did Squirrel Girl for a Marvel TV show. Maddie met them at
VidCon when they were like 6 or 7, and she was super nice. Maddie was shy. She compared their shoes, but I said that as soon as the model for her corpse came out, instead of waiting for her to see. I was just like, oh, that character, you met them. I'm showing pictures. It's just like the colorless doll that they had. But even that with the pictures and the IOU 3 bags of vodka, that was very sweet. Yeah.
2 other small things that I'm thinking about from the book. At the end, obviously he doesn't have any food on Rocky's planet, so they actually synthesize proteins from him.
Yeah, I remember.
So he actually eats like ground meat that's his protein, so he calls them meat burgers. So I thought that was super interesting. And then one thing that they didn't talk about, which I kind of understand them not talking about, is that there's a certain gene type that you need in order to be able to go into space for that long time for the I forgot what, not unconscious, the
sleep, coma, induced coma,
the coma,
sleep.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why Ryan Gosling was, part of their program was because he had that gene. He wasn't supposed to be a backup, but obviously after the stuff blows up and everybody dies, he's one of the candidates because he had that gene. So she kind of put him in her back pocket as kind of like a extra Hail Mary.
And what a beautiful, even on the second watch, I knew it was coming, but a beautiful explosion, horrifyingly but perfectly done when they get knocked down from the cloud. And I don't know if you both heard, but that was the only detail in the book, the genome, that was like in there because he wants to do a spin-off or a connecting story, but just because of that. So I don't think we're to expect Rocky to be showing up. But since I didn't mention it technically yet, and I teased it before, spoilers, I love the simple elegance of Rocky just already being there. I think before you said it was like 42 years or something long, but in a universe with enough civilizations, it makes so much sense that there'd at least be one other one that would be like, shit, our sun's going out too, and we found this one planet, so let's be there as well. I don't see a lot of those coincidences that are so elegant and make so much sense in other films.
And the fact that Rocky's very smart in certain ways, Ryland Grace is smart in different ways. I wish the movie would have made it more balanced, where it made it feel like Dr. Grace was more intelligent than Rocky, where I wish it would have been more balanced. That like there's certain things about like space and stuff that Ryan Gosling doesn't know, but Rocky knows. Because in the movie, kind of felt a little bit more one-sided. It felt like for every 3 or 4 that Ryland knew, Rocky knew one that he didn't get. So I wish it would have been a little bit more balanced.
And that's tough too, right? Because the answer to that is having to invent like 40% of the stuff you talk about out of your imagination. Be like, okay, what could we not know?
And not necessarily not know, but maybe he doesn't know. Sure. Because he's a biologist. So there's a lot of
part of that too was intentional, though, because of the fact that that there was a language barrier. There was no way that they were going to be able to justify them being able to have super in-depth intellectual conversations and Rocky being able to impart all the knowledge that he might have within the short period of time that they were together. Like even the amount of language that they were able to get in the film is not realistic, if we're being honest about it, with how linguistics work. So I feel like that was really the only way that they could do it without making other things stand out, like the fact that there was a significant language barrier. And then just the fact that, we see where Rocky comes from. We see what him and his wife created. Because it's not that, like, he doesn't say, oh, his government did this. He says his wife, he'll have his wife fix this. Like, I feel like that alone kind of highlights just how superior in a lot of ways potentially Rocky is. And they just did it very, very subtle. They just made it very subtle because of the language barrier.
Gotta love Adrian too. Like, oh man, now I'm thinking it would have been cool to meet Adrian in the post credits, or not post credits, but at the wind down.
Maybe we did.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we met their kids. We don't know.
We don't know. They could have just been very still.
I can see why they wouldn't introduce Adrian in that scene, because I guess it technically lessens the shot showing the whole classroom if you start seeing more quote unquote variations on Rocky. But the way they made Rocky was even great, because probably at least 90% of it, well, I don't want to do percentages, but a high percentage is puppets, and one of the main people controlling the puppet was also the voice. So they had him on set actually interacting with Ryan Gosling instead of, I don't know, just some other voice actor and then dubbing over with some famous person like other films have done.
I remember they had to do a lot of weird, quirky things with the set design because it's a realistic set. So they had to do different like sliding walls and stuff like that so they can get cameras and stuff in there. But it's a real set design too. So some cool video tricks from Lord and Miller.
And honestly, considering how sweet it is and how everyone like starts immediately coming out of the movie with amaze, 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 fist my bump, thumbs down, everything, like there's some brutality to it. When Ryan Gosling just face plants into the wall and he's stuck there because of the spin that's on the ship, and Rocky has to come out and finish it. Like other films, other ratings for films, blood is just pouring down the side of his face in that moment, but the red lighting really still delivered that and helped out. Whew, dig it.
I never really knew if it was intentional in the books, but I feel like it was highlighted, or maybe just stood out more because you visually saw it in the film. But the juxtaposition between humanity and the oh goodness, what was the race?
The rock people.
The Iridians. Between humanity and the Iridians was so stark. And like just in the moment when they're having the conversation, when he finally has to admit that like, no, I'm not going home. Like that says so much there, because that means that on the one hand, the Iridians, they said, we're going to take enough time to make sure we have enough of this material to get our people home. Whereas humanity was like, you know what? We don't want to risk it. We're not going to give it another year, because it's not like they were spending that much time collecting it. They could have saved it another year to have enough material to get their people back home. So like just seeing how stark the contrast was between the two, like even when we're talking about them sleeping, like it seemed in the book, like I had a suspicion that was part of what was being highlighted. But in the film, it felt like it was, at least to me, it felt like it was like right there in your face, like just how poor humanity is to humanity, even when we're trying to save humanity in comparison to Rocky's, civilization and the Iridians, and kind of like how they felt about themselves and each other and all that good stuff.
I do wish they touched on that more on the human side, because the Iridians, were they like there 40 years earlier, approximately?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Well, we at least know that Rocky got there far enough in advance that everyone could die of radiation before Grace got there.
But that didn't necessarily have to take long, because he said that Rocky was going to die of radiation poison within just that, 45 days or longer that it would have taken him to get over to him in the end.
But yeah, on this rewatch, all they really said about it is if we miss this launch opportunity, we'll be set back some amount of time. I think I got the implication that it would be another few months until they could go again. So I don't know what the deadline is we're looking at. Also, I got confused on the first watch because they said that what was the substance?
Astrophage or the predator?
That the astrophage could double every day. So originally, she says 3 hours. So I guess technically, even if they waited 24 hours for it to double, they would have missed their window. But I wish they had said, like, we can't make a tank that big in time, just to add on to reasons, or put a finer point on how close the deadline will be. Like, it'll take us 17 years to get there, and 11 and a half years to get it back. So we've got a 6-month window once you're there. If we lose 3 months, that's half of your discovery time, something like that.
Or it could have been as simple as the coma. Your body can't go into coma twice that fast or something.
Yeah.
Like, there should have been something more there, because it just felt very, we just want it done now. And we don't care whether or not you're expendable. Like, that's just how it came off instead.
At least they started with that. I'm expendable. Is that why I'm here? That's not the only reason.
It's preferable that we've come to the conclusion it's preferable that you don't die.
And Maddie was playing defense. Maddie said, well, she doesn't speak for everyone in the room, so she's got to check. That's very political. Last
thing I've got
is it the song?
The song, yeah. I was gonna say the love sequences aren't in the book. There's no like love tension that I feel like they were trying to hint at in this movie. That's not in the book. But then also I think they did a really good job choosing Joe Jonas, which I forgot who that was. That sang "Time of Our Lives."
Oh, okay.
So I thought that song fit very well within the book and within the parameters of what was happening for them at that time when they did the karaoke.
Yeah, and that one was nuts because they said they found out she could sing while they were filming on the aircraft carrier, and they had 2 days, maybe a day and a half, to get permission to use the song, record that song, and leave because they literally have to build the greatest set replica in history to remake or extend any of that scene, which probably wasn't in the cards anyway. And I don't know if this led to those extra tension moments, but Ryan Gosling said that he was the first day with, what was her name from Anatomy of a Fall? The lady who sings, Brad?
Oh, Eva Strat, Sandra Hewler.
Is Sandra Hewler's her real name?
Yes.
He said the first shot they had was a big wide take. I don't know if they had any rehearsal time before this because it sounded like they had just met. And right before they called action, she said, I'm going to get to the car first. Like they're just supposed to walk to a car. And she made it a race. I'm sure that take did get into film because they probably just ended up running. But what a great energy to start with, especially, I don't know. I'm gonna just put myself in her shoes and not say that this is what she went through, but me, I'm like, I'm going to have a whole movie with Ryan the Gosling. What the fuck? Like, that's what I'd be doing. Not let's. How do I make this just normal?
This was her first English movie where she primarily spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to even weigh on you a little bit more too, because you're singing an English song in English. I think her normal language is German, and I looked it up. It was "Sign of Our Times" by Harry Styles, not Jonas. So I mean, it's all the same to me. I'm too old for this.
One's the brother of Thanos and Patton Oswalt in space, and the other one is married to Priyanka Chopra. So really just 6'7", I guess I'm accidentally doing. I was fitting it in the layout that you can't see right now because we're more there. It's 6'7". Oh, why
isn't one of the Jonases married or was married to the lady from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not anymore, but what?
Not anymore?
Unfortunate.
Don't quote me on that. I don't follow celebrities.
I thought it was. I thought like one of them was married, and I don't remember her name. I just remember she's one of the Stark girls.
Yeah, they were married. I just don't know if they still are.
Yeah, she's Jean Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Previously married to Sophie Turner. Yep. Divorced in 2024.
Okay, I tried searching up her name by writing Jean Grey married to Jonas Brother, and it said actually Jean Grey is married to Scott Summers. Thanks, Google AI.
Get your facts right, nerd, is what Google said. I mean, I can see your screen. That's what it said. Get your facts right, nerd, is what Google said.
There was something else. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just always glad to see a Lord and Miller production. Also, glad at the Chance Meatballs, which I didn't mention earlier, because they are all apparently what got them fired from Solo was their willingness to always look for a better version. If they feel like something's not working on set, then they're going to play around with it and make sure it works, and always shooting for something better. And that seems to, sometimes to the chagrin of animators, extend to the Spider-Verse films, because they have to keep tweaking and figuring out what's actually going to be the best thing, and they'll never stop working on it until it has to release. But just love it. And also love the countless people who are like, see, Hollywood, we just love normal guys. And then people are like, you're in a sweater. It's like you're looking at one of the sexiest men on earth in a sweater. Very cool.
Yep. So obviously the author wrote this. Andy Weir wrote The Martian, and then they also wrote another space book, Artemis. I think that one's I was trying to look it up, but I can't figure it out. I don't know how the Google machine works, but I'm pretty sure that film's in production.
We've said that Lord and Miller had the rights to Artemis. So the last thing, it was from March 23rd, 2026. Phil Lord and Chris Miller think they've solved the riddle for adapting Andy Weir's Artemis. Could be. And apparently the author thinks Jenna Ortega. Oh no, never mind. I thought it had a thumbnail of Artemis and Jenna Ortega, and I thought he would like her for the film, but it just says Andy Weir gives update on Artemis movie and why he wants Jenna Ortega to play Jazz. Oh wait, is Jazz the character? Okay, well,
I that book I haven't read. I was going to and never got around to it.
Anyone who knows what it is will know if that's the main character. At first I thought he wanted to just play Jazz with her.
I'm going to take a guess and say yes, because IMDb literally says Jazz is a porter and a part-time smuggler on the lunar city of Artemis. I'm going to say yes.
Fair enough. And apparently that is a character who's also Muslim, because I heard a lot about that when Andy Weir showed up on the Critical Drinkers podcast, and people were like, this feels weird. And he's like, yeah, my stuff isn't political. It's like, it's weird. This is a movie about all the world's governments coming together to work on one thing. That's kind of political. Also, you had a Muslim character. Does the Critical Drinker, who is very racist and sexist at all times, know that you wrote a Muslim character? If they make it,
it didn't come across that way in the film, at least, which is nice.
How so? Or what do you mean? What didn't come across?
Like, it didn't come across as like one overly political. Like, they took out some of the political things that Andy Weir wrote into the books, like the nuking of the ice cap, stuff like that. So they took out a little bit for the movie, but it didn't feel like they were saying anything, like they weren't trying to push any kind of like
it didn't feel
global
like
warming type of things.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it had a message that they were trying to tell you. But I know when people were kind of deconstructing his statements, they were like, it was like a model of what good politics could have been, or transcending bullshit politics of like, this is hopeful because we're all working together. And this is an international trio, even if it's not a trio for very long. Cool. So this will be the harder of the two, for sure. Compared to Supergirl, is Project Hail Mary better or worse? Both spacefaring films with cute little guys.
Multiple suns.
I'm going to take that to mean the sun that he and Carl make and the sun that they visit at ours. The three suns.
Nailed it.
And a rock guy and a guy without an engine or balls. So who thinks Project Hail Mary is better than Supergirl?
I like Project Hail Mary better than Supergirl.
Yeah, that's not much of a surprise that was going to be our choice. But this one, I genuinely don't know how contentious it could end up being, kidding on the actual contention. But compared to Godzilla -1, who thinks Project Hail Mary is better for the all-timer?
I'm a kaiju fan. I watched 3 different kaiju films just this past week. So Godzilla is going to stick in the top for me, but I am willing to concede that top spot to the majority.
Brad?
That's going to come down to you. Like, I don't know what you're asking me for.
I'm using what I just learned as new slang. Fa. I
would even be willing to split it. Just make a tie and go 50-50. Then that's Project Godzilla minus Mary.
Project Hail Godzilla.
The next winning movie has to beat both of them out.
Or if it just cycles. It just turns into like a casino machine with 3 slots, and sometimes it'll cycle out. I don't know. I thought after I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is going to edge it out a little bit. But I also am just going back to all the very emotional and raw moments from Godzilla -1 and the excellence. All right. Just as a cop-out for the time being, we're going to go with the two royalty, I don't know, the two best that we've seen, and go Project Hail Godzilla minus Mary. And if I come up with a decision one way or the other, we'll break it. But
I'm with Milan. I think we need to find a movie that beats both these movies and watch that next. So that way we don't have to worry about it.
The way you delivered it sounds so wholesome, and my broken brain is like, that's just a way for them to permanently get their favorite movie we've ever seen to always be on it for forever. But no matter what, this movie is, well, I kind of fucked up the segue into that. This movie may be an edible. It may be a mushroom, maybe a mushroomy ayahuasca, but no matter what, this movie is dope because movies are dope.
Bye now.
Thank you.
I'm living in a movie, there's a scene you gotta jump. I got my people at the viewing who all knew me selling tickets. Yeah, they talking about the beauty. I see Scorsese outside saying this isn't cinema. Free man, I ain't doing shit tomorrow, I don't need plans. I'll be kicking it till April off for $3 grand. I don't even need the money, I just need fans. I just need fans.